give me that. Now, Wednesday, I was very, very ill, and I didn't want to put it on my community tab, but I had to put it up again because of illness, because, of course, then people will start asking questions, which are none of business, so I do apologize for not putting the skipping of Wednesday. I kept thinking I'd feel better Thursday, and I didn't. Now, as of Friday, my gut stopped hurting. And then, after that, I slept a lot. Yes. So that's the official explanation of why I wasn't Wednesday. And why I didn't put up something saying why I wasn't here Wednesday. Excuse me. It was all my fault. Technically and literally. Apparently it's 60 degrees outside. And evidently the channel that I'm on is not subscribed to this one. So, let us do that. Would help if I spelled it. She said. There I am. Hi, Ronnie. Okay, I'm on live chat. So how are you today? I'm feeling much better. I finished dinner. I managed to run off Ernie's shell in record time. Now, I did forget that I have a 2-liter in the freezer. Now, that was supposed to come with me, and it didn't. So, I suppose I'll have to... Just a minute. They put... YouTube asked me for a put up the recommendation, and they gave me something about the UN. So I'm telling you, sexual, violent, gory, and gross. Misleading and sensualization, and junky and trashy. Yes. Don't need that. No, don't need them recommending the UN to me. Hallelujah. I mean, YouTube is like the wackiest thing. So yes, if our players show up, we're going to game just a tiny bit, and even that, we're just going to sit here and talk. Now, typically, I was giving the explanation of why I missed my Wednesday appointment here. So, usually I play music first, so we might do that, and I've been smoking all 6 of these. I cleaned this out real well, and I'm right at about the end of it, and I have a buzz. Oh, yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I slept so much today, is because it got 70 degrees here. So it was really nice, comfortable sleeping weather, and I couldn't fall asleep last night. I just laid there and tossed and turned, and when I finally did, I slept too much. Well, hello, Kelly. Well, thank you. Yes, if I didn't have my commitment here, I would have went ahead and went live like some people had asked. And I still may late at night. Now, I may not have the devices charged to do it, though. But I still may, a little. It all depends on what the power charges on the device are. But, if the players don't show up, in about 30, 40 minutes, then I'll go ahead and end this and maybe head over to Nicolina's and then charge my devices while I'm there, and then I could go live. So that's kind of a backup plan. Because, like I say, I missed Wednesday because I was sick, and I didn't want to put it on my community tab because, I was sick with my condition, and I don't want to worry 1,000 people because of me having to say I'm putting off something because of health reasons. When everybody on this channel knows about those health reasons because I talked about it openly and said that Wednesday would be optional, even though I really, really wish I would have, but, once again, I don't want to unnecessarily tell people about there's nothing anyone in the universe can do anything about. So yes, Ernie was not a happy camper. And yes, Ernie, this is real leather, by the way. Yes, it is. He was very, very upset, Ernie was. Now, I think it was funny because, no, it was 2015 when I saw Ernie, and hello, Pindar. Well, Pindar, it's okay. You know, Wednesday I was sick, as you know, and I think I can't remember, but I think I told you I didn't want to put anything on the tab because I didn't want to unnecessarily worry people. So, you know, I was kind of considered optional. If a player showed up, fine. If they didn't, I was going to hang here for about 30, 40 minutes, pop over to Nicolina's, charge the devices here, and go live. But, you know, if one person shows up and wants to play, all is good. Oh, you got it. Yeah, you turn them because it's only got one at a time. So, yeah. So, I've pretty much smoked 5, yes, in a part of one. Apparently, I turned one early. So, yes, and so I was smoking this talking to Ernest. Well, Pindar, you missed me on Ernie's panel. I flustered Ernie, and Ernie ended his panel and made accusations. Supposedly, I'm a part of a child ring, and supposedly he saw me in 2017, which is funny because I was having seizures then, and I didn't drive already. And in 2017, I never left the farm except in the company of a mental health professional, which at the time was Haley. So, you know, the entire supposed year that Ernie's accusing me of running a child ring, you know, I was here having seizures because I hadn't started smoking marijuana for the seizures until the end of 2017. I didn't even have my disability yet. Well, I mean, it was, now everyone had enjoyed it over on Rap's panel. You know, I gave everyone a good time, and of course, you know, Ernie cut me off at some point, and then started making, you know, accusations of me being a predator. But I mean, good luck with that because, you know, as I said, I don't have a criminal record. Which also means that if it's between Ernie and me in court around here when it comes to word, I will win. Oh, yeah. I had a good time at his expense, and some people wanted me to go live, and I said I had a commitment. Didn't tell them where, you know, as you know, it's here, and, you know, Nicolina went live, and like I said, if you hadn't shown up, you know, I would have ended this in about 30 minutes or so. If, you know, the first 45 minutes, if no one showed us up, you know, because life happens, you know, I'd probably end it. But I just thought I'd bullshit. Oh, yeah, he's quite flustered. Matter of fact, we might play a little bit of it. Because in the beginning, I just kind of want you to get used to the fighting system before we get into serious role play and, you know, other character development in your character lives development. You know, I kind of want you to feel comfortable with it. So that way then you can lay back and just play your character. Once again, not having a veteran player, you know, in the beginning, we're kind of playing. And I'm going to come on at random times too on this channel. And if anyone shows up, you know, they can have some solo advice. But since you're here to watch things, let's see if Ernie hit his live yet. Okay, this channel didn't subscribe to the Ernie.
Who is that in the back?
Who could it be now?
You know what?
Who can it be knocking at your
Some
panel?
days in this world, I just wonder. This person has never been up on the panel before. He's never been on the panel. Should I give him a chance? Should I give you a chance? Shake your head, yes or no?
Well, Ernie, how the Ernie Shell?
Well, you know, I've been practicing on your voice.
Not doing a good job with it, are you, asshole?
Real voice.
That's Grimgolf's
But it's all
voice.
right.
Well, Ernie, you seem to scum up our local community. What do you have to say for yourself?
How did I? Like how?
Well, I've been in this land far longer than you. You're just scum from Harlan, dude, that's trying to scam everyone, and we pretty much know it. You ain't no one. The cops ain't gonna talk to you, and you're one of those people that are on the watched list. I mean, Ernest, everyone around here has a past, and you are nothing more than a shell. Now, once again, my family has done things around here in Kentucky. We have things named after us. A park down the street. Now, you were supposed to find out about me, and you've come up with absolutely nothing. And I'm right up the road, dude.
Who are you?
You can't figure it out yet. Then you're not a very good skip tracer, are you?
I'm not
There.
trying.
Oh, yes, you did, Ernie. You said on your live that you would find out about Roger Brown and my criminal history, and I'm here to say, what do you got, boy?
Well, that is a mighty nice coat you got on there. Is that real leather? Is that?
It's definitely real leather.
I don't know about that. That's got a patch on it.
Oh, no, because you see,
Now, you see, this is real leather. Now, what I didn't tell him is I paid like $29 for it at Goodwill. Brand new leather, too. Now, there's 2 Goodwills in Somerset, and one of them has some really nice stuff.
I work for myself. You see, I have minions. See, when you're at the top of the food chain, everyone else below it, they're beholden to you.
Oh, okay. They're holding it to me. Okay, I'm learning something.
Now, you aren't very good around here because, once again, your family is nobody. You're nothing more than a Harlan piece of garbage. Now, when I used to work with the highway department, they would send up people from Harlan to Rockcastle for us to train them.
And they would, too.
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd act embarrassed, too, when they'd say they're from Harlan.
Now, I've heard about Rockcastle now. I've been in Rockcastle a little bit there. I've got a few pals in Rockcastle.
Last
I've
time
never
I
heard of
was
Roger
in Rockcastle.
Brown. I've never heard of Roger. Who is that in the background hollering at you?
Well, considering I live with no one,
Is that a parrot?
it's in your imagination.
Oh, okay. I thought that. Okay. Oh, it's my people. Hold on one second.
Yeah, like that. He's real good at it. He skip tracing. He doesn't even know the noises coming from behind him.
That's good. How many?
No, I work for myself now, Ernie.
But you said you worked for the highway department.
Yes, I am.
I'm your elder motherfucker. You should be respectful to me.
What division did you work in there? Did you work for the road? That's good. You built bridges?
Oh, yes, we can build you a bridge in a day. Very good at it, too. In fact, Rockcastle is the best highway department in the entire state. We got more jobs done than anything, but
And that is true.
I don't have to worry about that now.
Yep.
So you're about, what, 45, 50 years old, you're going on?
Actually, I'm 54 years old.
Well, you see, I said 45, but turn it around, it is 54. You got to give me that one. You got to give me that one, Roger. You know I know.
Well, I'm giving you some information here. Now, I told Nicolina if she wants an interview with me, she can do it, and then you can watch Nicolina and finally find out something about me.
But why would I want to know anything about you?
Now, there is one interesting thing.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I
I'm
am
all ears.
betting.
I'm all ears.
Well, see, unfortunately, this is something that I can't find a receipt for.
Okay.
But I'm just betting that my father knew yours. I'm just betting on that. Now, once again, I have no way to verify that because, my father's a dead motherfucker. I don't miss him. And once again, in my family, that's a family tradition. I mean, there's a difference between a brown and a shell. We're a much more brutal people than you are.
And it's true, too.
You have no clue.
Up here on the rock, it's kind of...
No, yeah, I do. I mean, I really do. And father hate was a tradition in my family.
tough, and we kind of laugh at Harlan in general, and I've got an interesting hive sitting all around me, but I know exactly what it is here. There's no jobs, there's nothing in Harlan, and you just go about the internet grifting like a motherfucker. And in a certain way, I could admire that in a way, but Ernie, you're a pathetic pile of fucking garbage that don't know shit. I mean, in 2015, I walked right past you talking to two pigs, sitting in Wendy's.
And did too. And somebody asked me to get him an 8-ball, and I went and got him an 8-ball, and I was getting $40 out of the deal. And that was going to fill up my tank and get me groceries for the week. And Ernie standing out there, looking up at the two cops, standing on his tippy toes trying to act big. Yes, they were.
And I had a fucking 8-ball in my pocket.
Yes, I did.
I mean,
and I made $40.
All sorts of drugs on me. Walk right past the two of you just standing
Yes,
there like fucking morons several years ago. And I thought, couple pigs and a wannabe. Now that wannabe was you. Now you had your black uniform on with the little bullshit security patch.
You did too.
That day, and that was sometime around the late summer 2015. Because I have complete total recall in my memory. Now, I have run into Jimbo before, but I didn't realize it because I always expected him to be taller. And now that I actually realize it, I've run into Jimbo a whole lot more than you because you see, my mother's family's from down around where Jimbo is. Now, fortunately, a YouTuber did your and Jimbo's genealogy, so I found out I am not related to you because I was really worried as fuck about that. Because I don't want our bloodlines ever to cross.
Our bloodlines would never cross, and I know who exactly you are.
Well then who am I, Skip Tracer?
You're one of the worst of the worst.
Oh, God.
Horrible man.
You sure are.
Terrible.
As a matter of fact, you've done some unspeakable things.
And what would these unspeakable things be?
We don't put people like this on stream.
And then he cut me off.
Roger, you see, I understand I'm not like you. And those things you own, how many innocent kids had to suffer for that? I told you I knew who you was. When I said 45, I knew you was 54.
I knew I was 54.
A lot of people, Roger. I know exactly who you are now. And as far as my dad goes and your dad, like you said, your dad was scum of the earth.
Actually, my father was a pillar of the community. Yes, he was. I mean, as I mentioned in another live, his funeral, there were people just standing because all the pews in this giant-ass place was filled, and there was a couple hundred people outside. And in reality, I'm betting that my father did know his. I am betting that. But that's just a complete supposition on my part because of the extensive knowledge of the amount of people that my father knew.
I'm very good at what I do, Roger. That's why I knew when I said bridges. You did. You
All
did.
right.
But your record is a lot worse than mine will ever be. And some of those things
I have no record.
will never be on my record. That is a fact.
I don't even have a public intoxication charge.
Make sure when you interview with Nicolina, you go into those deep, dark secrets, especially Rock Castle. Especially when you go and looking into the human trafficking and stuff that goes on in Rock Castle.
I never killed anyone in
I know who
Kentucky,
you are,
Ernie.
Roger. I know who you are. You see, it's not worth it on stream.
Where do my glasses? Damn it. I'm amusing myself when I misplace my glasses.
What do you really think about kids, Roger? Won't you tell the truth about that? You said one thing that really got me.
Well, kids are good if you have the right sauce. Go on, Ernie. Where did I set
Did
my
someone
glasses?
beat those teeth out of your mouth, or was that something else, Roger?
It was called starvation, you stupid son
You
of a
said it
bitch.
yourself.
Okay. Damn it, Roger. Okay. Bag of pot.
I know who you are now.
Set that over here. Another thing of pot. You notice the theme here?
2015.
Gotta get that off camera. Now, what did I do with those?
It was 2017, Roger. It wasn't 2015. It was 2017. It was when the first thing Trump laid down for combating human trafficking. I know exactly.
I mean, in 2017, I didn't even have electricity until fall. I didn't smoke pot at the time. I was having seizures for hours every day. I couldn't drive. I was on medical supervision. And wherever I went, I had a beautiful blonde girl taking me. Yes, I did. And her name was Haley. And she was my camera girl when I started my other channel. And she was there for about my first 100 videos. Yes, she was. So once again, literally from the time I started having seizures, my entire, I basically had a chaperone everywhere. Since I started having seizures, unless I'm walking to the store. So, I mean, it's like, ooh, I love that he was making that accusation because, once again, I had a supervisor. Yes, I did. Shit, I'd say that phone's in the other room where I'd get a picture of her quick. But yes, this is what old Ernest
Where
had to
was
say.
that? I know exactly where it was at and who you are.
Who I am. Guy with a bud. That's what I am. Hi,
And what you're
Teresa.
part of and what you're in.
I'm in a cosmic
Those
brownie
hives,
cult. I never would have
you call them,
imagined.
pal? Those hives? You mean hubs? You mean like the ones we took out? 27.
No, I mean a wretched hive of scum and villainy. I mean, this place is a fucking shithole, Ernie. I mean, you want to play that, you're some big man in a shithole. This is a place for people to get lost at. This is a place for people to hide from the law. Now, and unfortunately, this is the place where my family is from.
2019, leading into 2020, and then in August. Those connections to Lexington, Kentucky, through Rock Castle.
Now, I didn't get internet until September. So this is right when Haley was first becoming my peer support, and for the 2 years before that, I was stranded here. So, good luck with that, Ernest.
Those cartaway trucks, I know exactly what you're about.
I want my Coke out of the freezer.
Going back on to the real hand. You talk about digging from the bottom of YouTube, you are.
Now, Teresa, in reality, I hadn't, extrapolated that far yet, because usually in the late hours of the night while I'm sitting by myself, I get contemplative and get there, but I think you hit it. Yes, I think Ernie's feeling a little bit of guilt because, he's a diddle kiddler.
You are. And you want to go and have an interview with someone like you for someone who's committed those type of crimes?
Tell me, Ernie.
Back to business. So if those two people would please email me, give me an email. And I'll be good. Now, I don't see how anybody could be proud of something like that, Roger. Hives. Mm-hmm. Sarah, are you available right now to come up on panel?
Nope. No, Sarah. Sarah don't love him no more.
Too easy. You're not timed out, Pamela.
But see, Pindar, the fun thing is he and I are under the same lawful jurisdictions. The state of Kentucky. We're even in the same regional court. Because, how they have circuit courts, districts? We're in the same region of Kentucky. They may have different county district, but, the greater circuit itself, we'd be in the same one. And as you know, there's a lot of different rules that apply.
Guys, we're going to shut this down early. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for fighting the good fight. If you want to donate, donate. If you don't. Simple as that. Thank you all. And thanks for the ones that emailed me about that. Thank you, guys.
Now, what Ernie also did, I had these all 6 loaded. I was sitting here as he was making all of his accusations, and I was just sitting back smoking this, where he could see me laughing at him. He could see me unfazed at everything he had to say. And occasionally I said words back. He probably had them on mute, but maybe not. But yes, that was Ernest in my little tangle from just a little while ago, and he seems verily, verily flustered. Yes, Roger, he does. Verily, verily. I forgot to turn that down first because all I could think of is how fucking stupid he is. Yes. Now, see, that's cool because, this is like my private domain channel, and once again, I can have less tact here. Well, yes, Tracy. Hello, Hillary. And hello to everyone I missed. But yes, that was my fun little exchange from a little while ago. And fuck Ernie, as I like to say. You can see he was very, very flustered. And you could see that he basically had a hard-on for my jacket. Yes, he did. And Ernie was hoping that I was more his age. And once again, he can see that I'm older than him, and I am far better looking. Even half kept. Seriously. Now, to tell on myself, I actually, like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, you know what? The first you should play Verily Veronica. Now, as you can see, the first is fucking here. And as you can see, I'm not barely Veronica, and thinking about it, I've not done one damn thing to do it. So, this is kind of my own way of telling myself, it's like, why don't you gather up all the stuff in one corner so, when you want to do it, you can just do it. So, that's going to be on my to-do list. Well, it's okay, Bridges. We were supposed to be gaming here, but, now we got enough people, we're just kind of bullshitting here. I mean, this is normally our game session. It's just Pindar was the only one here, and she hadn't heard what Ernie had to say. So, we just kind of are bullshitting instead of gaming. Because, here we have a game and an informal hangout. A normally unrelated to drama content. It's just, once again, Pindar's my friend and hadn't heard about Ernie. And, well, we can bullshit about Dummy here. There's no problem on that. Hello, Carboys. Well, we just got done playing it. Well, I might play it again here in a minute. Since Pindar's here to that, and I can... Okay, well, we can just hang out, Pindar. Well, see, sometimes that's the thing about gaming. It is always optional. Now, I'll play it again, since there's...
So, we have a sponsor today
that way I could sit here and get really high, too. I don't think I'm supposed to have said that part out loud.
done 4 shirts. And they asked me to give these shirts away. And I figured I would. Who is that in the back?
I don't know, Ernie.
You know what? Some days in this world, I just wonder. This person has never been up on the panel before. He's never been on the panel. Should I give him a chance? Should I give you a chance? Shake your head, yes or no?
Well, Ernie, how ought the Ernie Shell?
Well, I've been practicing on your voice.
That's not actually my real voice.
I know it ain't, but it's all right.
Well, Ernie, you seem to scum up our local community. What do you have to say for yourself?
How did I? Like how?
Well, I've been...
You noticed that I framed it quickly. You see, that was a strategy, to where once again he was going to try to direct the conversation. So I flat out asked him, why are you fucking stinking up the joint? Yes. Now, what I would ask Frank, it's like, can you sneak up on someone? That's what I would ask. It's like, can you sneak up on a human being, or does everyone hear you from like 150 yards away? That's what I like to ask Frank. Now, once again, I turn this superpower to for good and to evil, because superpowers are a double-edged blade. But yes, I started off with framing the conversation for Ernie.
In this land far longer than you. Come from Harlan, dude, that's trying to scam everyone, and we pretty much know it. You ain't no one, the cops ain't gonna talk to you, and you're one of those people that are on the watched list. I mean...
Now you see how I quickly frame him. Now you see, Rose talk works sometimes. Now, once again, Rose wants to do this for everything. But when you're trying to frame something, you do it quickly and in a Rose-type fashion. Once again, I'm giving you a little inside baseball on how this works. Once again, you don't always talk like Rose. You talk like this. But once again, sometimes unusual logic is what's called for. So once again, when you're framing something, Rose talk can be an asset.
Ernest, everyone around here has a past, and you are nothing more than a shell. Now, once again, my family has done things around here in Kentucky. We have things named after of us. A park down the street. Now, you were supposed to find out about
Now,
me.
I did change something around there. Once again, to fuck with him. We have a voting precinct down the street named after us. The park we donated, but it actually has a community name on it, and it has my family member's name in tiny print at the bottom that no one pays attention to.
And you've come up with absolutely nothing. And I'm right up the road, dude.
Who are you?
You can't figure it out yet. Then you're not a very good skip tracer, are you?
You see, I go back when he tries to do that, and I take his identity. You know, I'm a skip tracer. I can do anything. And once again, you see, from my entire time, I showed them, you can't skip trace me, and I'm up the damn road. And see, that's the funny part, is I am up the damn road.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yes, you did, Ernie. You said on your live that you would find out about Roger Brown and my criminal history, and I'm here to say, what do you got, boy?
Well, that is a mighty nice coat you got on there. Is that?
Now, you see, I framed it all for you. I laid it out as a challenge. And what could he talk about? My coat. And he thinks that, you know, I'm going to be worried that somehow it's going to get under my skin. That he's trying to say my coat isn't leather when it is. And I didn't tell him that I paid like $28 for this really nice leather jacket at Goodwill. I didn't tell him that part. You know, in Ernie's mind, I went and spent high dollar at a place for this jacket. No. You know, with tax, I probably spent about $32 at Goodwill, you know, to get a $300 or $400 leather jacket.
Is that real leather? Is that?
Oh,
Very real.
It's definitely real leather.
I don't know about that. That's got a patch on it.
Oh, no, because you see, I work for myself.
I do.
I have minions. See, when you're at the top of the food chain.
Because you see, I am a supervillain. Now, I can prove that because here I have my supervillain throwy thingy. Yes, my supervillain throwy thingy. Now, I can throw this at 10 yards and hit a head-sized target. So that means I can go to one side of the Walmart aisle, and I can throw this to the other side of the Walmart aisle and hit this on the side of the head. You know, so this is one of my supervillainy thingies. Oh, we got catnip. This is another supervillainy thingy. It makes my minions whip into a frenzy. I see I had to hide that down there with the weapons. Then we have a couple of these. I mean, these are real nice, Ernest.
Everyone else below it, you know, they're beholden to you.
Oh, okay. They're holding it to me. Okay. I'm learning
Now,
something.
you aren't very good around here because once again, your family is nobody. You're nothing more than a Harlan piece of garbage. Now, when I used to work with the highway department, they would send up people from Harlan to Rockcastle for us to train them.
No, come on, man.
Oh yeah, they would all be right.
And this is all true, too. Now, you see, I take a fact of my life, and I gave him a little bit of a lead. But everything that I'm saying right there is absolutely true. They used to send their people from Harlan to get trained for us, and they'd say, where are you from? And they look, you know, Harlan, and kind of look down, and, you know, that's basically, you know, this is the ghetto's ghetto.
Shame to be from Harlan.
Now, I've heard about Rockcastle now. I've been in Rockcastle a little bit there. I've got a few pals in Rockcastle.
Last
I've
time
never
I
heard of
played with
Roger
Dinner.
Ray.
And it's referred to as the Rock.
Yes.
I've never heard of Roger. Who is that in the background hollering at you?
Now, do not drink the water in Rockcastle County. If you're somehow in Rockcastle County and you get food, get your shit with no ice. It tastes like fucking pool water. It's in the United States of America. You're going to look at me like I'm joking, but I am not kidding. It's just like you just dumped water right out of a pool, you know, with the chlorine and all in it, and just started drinking it. It is fucking nasty.
Well, considering I live with no one,
Is that a parrot?
it's in your imagination.
Oh, okay. I thought that. Okay. It's my people. Hold on one second.
You see, Ernie could not tell from his people or if it was something here, because the only creature here with me is Autumn. And she's not supposed to be in here. So I'm looking at her like, you're not supposed to be in here. And she does not care, for that is her way.
So you work for the highway department. That's good. How many?
No, I work for myself now, Ernie.
But
I'm a
you
supervillain.
said you worked for the highway department.
At one time, Ernie, I'm your elder motherfucker. You should be respectful to me. Yes, sir.
What division did you work in there?
You see, Ernie likes power games. Now, you see, I don't talk like I'm anyone's superior here, do I? You see, this was a part of the framing of all of this. You know, as you can see, Ernie, there's no way that he can put himself in a superior position of power.
Did you work for the road? That's good. You built bridges?
Oh, yes, we can build you a bridge in a day.
And we could do.
We're good at it, too. In fact, Rockcastle is the best.
It is too, because you tear out the old one, and then you just keep you big giant tile that literally you could stand 2 men in. You hook it to the top of a giant dump truck. You dump that in the hole, and you start dumping gravel and sand. And you do that until it's up level, and then you take a steamroller over it. And you can do that in a day. You know, like I say, around here, because of all of the hills and all of the washouts of bridges, you know, we could make an improvised bridge that would be good until a permanent bridge could be made in a day.
Highway department in the entire state. We got more jobs done than anything, but I don't have to worry about that now.
So you're about, what, 45, 50 years old, you're going on?
Actually, I'm 54 years old.
Yes, I am. And I also didn't tell him that my uncle used to be head of the department. And see, this also tells Ernie something. See, to get these jobs, you have to have pull, as we say in Kentucky. And for me to even get that job shows Ernie that I have more pull than he does locally.
Well, you see, I said 45, but it turned it around, it is 54.
Hello, everyone. I'm
You gotta
missing.
give me that one, Roger. You know I know.
Well, I'm giving you some information here. Now, I told Nicolina if she wants an interview with me, she can do it, and then you can watch Nicolina and finally find out something about me.
But why would I want to know anything about you?
Now, you see, now you know why I asked Nicolina last week if she wanted to interview me. Because, once again, I lay my traps and, you know, to once again, because see, this way I'm putting Nicolina into a power position above him. And that's why a week ago, I just asked randomly, did Nicolina wish to interview me? You know, like I say, I play chess at such a level, it's laughable. With me and other creators on YouTube, let's drop pretense here. It's like I'm fighting children. Honestly, it is. It's entertaining at times. I'd really like a good opponent. But the problem is anyone that would be a good opponent, they're sane, they're rational, and I get along with well. So, you know, that kind of frames YouTube.
Now, there is one interesting thing.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I
I'm
am
all ears.
ready.
I'm all ears.
Well, see, unfortunately, this is something that I can't find a receipt for.
Okay.
But I'm just betting that my father knew yours.
And I do
I'm
bet
just
that.
betting on that. Now, once again, I have no way to verify that because, my father's a dead motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
I don't miss him. And once again, in my family, that's a family tradition. I mean, there's a difference between a brown and a shell. We're a much more brutal people than you are.
You have no clue.
Up here on the rock, it's kind of tough, and we kind of...
You see, you hear him. You have no clue. You have no clue. Oh, you can see it. But see, once you can hear his reaction on how much deep down he is seething. How much, because see, what I've done right here is I put myself in a position above him, and I've made Ernie to feel helpless.
Laugh at Harlan in general, and I've got an interesting hive sitting all around me, but I know exactly what it is. There's no jobs, there's nothing in Harlan, and you just go about the internet grifting like a motherfucker. And in a certain way, I could admire that in a way, but Ernie, you're a pathetic pile of fucking garbage that don't know shit. I mean, in 2015, I walked right past you talking to two pigs sitting in...
Once again, and this is all true, it's like I said in the last one. When I saw Ernie last, this is before my seizures. Months before I started having seizures. He was down there at Wednesdays talking to two pigs, and somebody down in town asked me, could I run and go get him some dope? And I run up and got him an 8-ball, and I was getting $40 out of it. I wasn't doing any of the dope. I just ran up the street for a guy. For a 15-minute trip, I made $40. And because I knew I was making the $40 because he already gave it to me, I picked $20 of it up in dollar hamburgers. And then the house where everyone partied, I had about 6 of the burgers for me, and I handed the 14 of the burgers out to other people. And then, once again, I had $20 for the tank and a couple days of groceries.
Wendy's,
and life
I had
went
a
on.
fucking 8-ball in my pocket. I mean, I had all sorts of drugs on me. Walk right past the two of you just standing right there like fucking morons several years ago. And I thought, couple pigs and a wannabe. Now that wannabe was you. Now you had your black uniform on with...
Now you see, you like how I did that. That way, rather than just insult him, I kind of backed him into it to where the insult was a box that he could not get out of.
The little bullshit security patch that day, and that was sometime around the late summer 2015, because I have complete total recall in my memory. Now, I have run into Jimbo before, but I didn't realize it because I always expected him to be taller. And now that I actually realize it, I've run into Jimbo a whole lot more than you, because you see, my mother's family's from down around where Jimbo is.
Yep, that they
Now,
are.
fortunately, a
Can't stand
YouTuber did your and Jimbo's genealogy, so I found out I am not related to you because I was really worried as fuck about that. Because I don't want our bloodlines ever to cross.
Our bloodlines would never cross it. I know who exactly you are.
Well then who am I, Skip Tracer?
You're one of the worst of the worst.
Horrible man.
You sure are. As a matter of fact, you've done some unspeakable things.
And what would these unspeakable things be?
We don't put people like this on
I missed that
screen.
hit I was taking. I want to take one like it.
Roger, you see, I understand I'm not like you.
And what would that be, Ernie?
Wrong. How many innocent kids had to suffer for that? I told you I knew who you was. When I said 45, I knew you was 54.
Right.
A lot of people, Roger. I know exactly who you are now. and is as far as my dad goes and your dad. Like you said, your dad was scum of the earth.
My dad was a pillar of the community. We have established that.
I'm very good at Roger. That's why I knew.
Everyone loved my father. Now, once again, he was quite brutal to me, and at the point that he realized that I would probably kill him, he stopped being physically abusive. Now, that was about 6 because I learned how to load the gun, and I think I kind of telegraphed it when I looked at the family arsenal. I looked at where he slept, and I looked at him. I wasn't always a good sneak, and I think he kind of thought, like, you know what? That boy's thinking about shooting me. And at that point, my dad decided to stop hitting me and just starved me.
When I said bridges,
Oh.
you did. You did. But your record is a lot worse than mine will ever be. And some of those things on your record, Roger, will never be on my record.
I have no record. I have no record. My rights are fully intact, Ernest, and you are not. That's why I made that video at one time talking about my record when he supposedly was going to, find out the information. I never followed up on that one because I was waiting for this encounter. Once again, I'm playing 4D chess. I'm playing this through time. Ernie was supposed to find out about me. So I alluded in a video that I had a criminal record and dared him to find it. I have no criminal record. So, once again, last week, I planted the Nicolina seed to where I knew he wouldn't find out anything because he does nothing but go to social media, and I have nothing on social media for him to find. So I knew he was going to come up with nothing. So that way I now have Nicolina in a place of power, and now, once again, just a simple chat between me and Nicolina with me telling the truth about life. I can once again weave this to hurt his ego. Now, when Nicolina interviews me, I'm going to tell the truth. I'll even tell you some stuff that'll probably be downright fucking shocking. But I'm also going to craft it to also show that Ernie's nothing more than a pile of shit, and no matter what his dreams and hopes of, I will always be his superior.
That is a fact.
Oh.
Make sure when you interview with Nicolina, you go into those deep, dark secrets, especially Rock Castle. Especially when you go and looking into the human trafficking and stuff that goes on in Rock Castle. I know who you are, Roger. I know who you are. You see, it's not worth it on stream. What do you really think about kids, Roger? Won't you tell the truth about that? You said one thing.
That they're better with barbecue sauce.
It really got me.
That was always an old joke of mine.
Did someone beat those teeth out of your mouth, or was that something, Roger?
It was starvation, you stupid pig.
You said it yourself.
About the time that you supposedly saw me trafficking children. When I couldn't drive and I was here all the time.
I know who you are now. 2015. It was 2017, Roger. In 2015.
I didn't
It was
drive. I was
2017.
here having seizures.
It was when the first.
I didn't even have internet until September of 2017. And that was right around the time that I got my first peer support. I had been in therapy for right about a year. Yeah, actually it was right at a year.
Thing Trump laid down for combating human trafficking. I know exactly where it was at. I know exactly where it was at and who you are. And what you're a part of and what you're in. Those hives, you fucking call them, pal? Those hives? You mean hubs? You mean like the ones we took out? 2017, 2019? Leading into 2020 and then into August?
Yes, Bendar.
Those connections to Lexington, Kentucky? Through Rock.
Hamber on YouTube wanted me to make a YouTube channel. I mentioned it in passing. You know, one of these things she asked me, basically the significant events of my week. And I told her I didn't want to do it. And then the entire session turned into she wanted me to do it and thought it would be a good idea.
Castle. Those cart away trucks, I know exactly what you're about.
Oh no, they're carting us away.
Now,
Meow.
going back on to the real matters at hand. You talk about digging from the bottom of YouTube, you are. You are. And you want to go and have an interview with someone like you for someone who's committed those type of crimes.
But I haven't committed any crimes. Keep smoking this bowl.
Now,
Breaking the law! Breaking the law!
back to business. So if those two people would please email me, give me an email. It'll all be good. Now, I don't see how anybody could be proud of something like that, Roger. Hives. Hives. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ernie. A hive is run by a queen bee. And Nicolina is our queen bee. Nicolina is our... Now, you also see I've set Ernest up. Yes. He had nothing to go with, so he grasped at that. So once again, a hive is run by a queen bee. And we have a queen bee. So, once again, I have set myself up a series of videos to where I will taunt Ernie with the queen. And then, finally, I will make a reveal of who our hive's queen is. And once again, everyone here knows exactly... Teresa's okay. Yes, we know exactly... all about our hives. Our hive is run by a key. And it will give me, see once again, remember how Ernie sexualizes Nicolina. Now you see, this gives me the opportunity to make honey jokes involving Nicolina being the queen bee and Ernie, of course, being the subservient drone that she commands around. So, you know, that this is a part of our fun. So, like I say, you know, this is how I have framed everything. Now you can see, I framed all this before I started. Because I had certain places, like I said, I left him with nothing. I left him with one word completely ambiguous. And he went at it. And it was the one that I wished. The one, once again, now, you know, I will position Nicolina as the queen bee, and him is nothing more than the little drone that wants her honey. And I will give you a giggle for about 30 seconds of your day for 2 or 3 days because of this. And in that way, I change the world in my own fashion. Well, yes, young at heart. But you know, that kind of just basically frames it all. I mean, I think so far ahead of Ernie and the rest of them, it's pathetic. Now, it's easier when, you know, no one's focused on you and they don't understand that. Because if they're focused on you, you sit and argue with them. If not, you just pick your shots. You know, it's kind of like being a YouTube sniper. Just there. But what it does is over time, it turns them into the jokes that they are. You know, like where Ernie's making up that I have a record. I have a clean record. I mean, this is Kentucky. Hello, River. And you say, you know, I was supposed to be gaming, but we're now just bitching about Ernie because it was funny. I played it for everyone a couple of times. So, I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, poor old Ernest. I mean, I've got him so set up. Now, River just missed my whole big speech. But I basically told everyone how I've basically set old Ernie up. I mean, he was seething like a fucker. Now, you see how he was. He felt that he got something over on Nicolina's husband. And he thought that he was going to do the same with me. Oh, no. Now, you see, one of my ego states is also a storyteller. Now, that one's just the storyteller, which came from the adventurer. And he's also the rattlesnake. And he's also horribly aggressive. So, if I really want to, I can tell a story in a horribly aggressive fashion. Well, I might hear in a minute, but you know, Pindar, I mean, I might just laugh my fucking head off because usually the third time is when I absolutely lose it. It's like in a raid. I mean, Pindar, if you get me as a tank in a raid, and first time, and you'll give me the instructions, I'll pull it off the first time every time. And then the next time, next raid reset, I'll do it again. Now, the third time, I get everyone killed. I mean, it's just a tradition. No, I mean, I don't intend to. It's just, even if I don't want to the third time, you know, I end up getting everyone killed. Now, after I get everyone killed the third time, it's never my fault after that. But, you know, that's kind of like one of my raiding traditions is, you know, the third time that we do this on the third raid, you know, I'm going to wipe it. Not intending to wipe it, but at some point I'm going to wipe it. And then once again, because I wiped that, I never let it happen again. I know very little about EverQuest. You know, once again, I played over much of World of Warcraft, but I eventually quit it when it got too easy. Well, Mouse, because for one, Ernie is scared. I mean, Ernie is always scared. Now, you see, that's something that you don't realize. That's why he has to make himself be a big man. Once again, you're getting free commentary videos right now just as I'm talking. Yes, you see, that's why he has to feel that. I know. It doesn't matter how powerful I am. I control this phone in the cookie tin that's holding it up. In a small pile of books. I control that, a couple phones, I got a huge pile of books over here, and I got a bunch of chargers, and a little table set up right here. That's about all as I control in this world in reality. Now, some people can't understand that. Is no matter how powerful you are, you only control what's around you. The rest of it is left to the tides of chaos. Now, fearful people, weak people cannot handle this. So they develop control issues. And once again, Ernie is a preyer on people. So that's where he develops his things to control people. Where Ernie, I am a completely uncontrollable factor to him. Well, thank you. But, you know, that's the basic why on Ernie has to make himself. Now, once again, by putting himself in a power position also, it's easier to get money out of people. You know, it's just flat out is. Now, once more, you know, money and word, you know, it is its own power in its own way. Because, you see, it's like, in the drug criminal world, it's, you know, I get so much money, you know, and up my buys. Because as you get more, it would get cheaper. And this is, you know, once again, how I used to make my bread. And I just wouldn't my money. I would let it turn over. And I would get more. And once again, that dealer wouldn't be able to get my need. He would have to throw me up to his. And then once again, my money would turn over. I would keep buying it cheaper. And then that guy would have to throw me up to him. And then slowly but surely, you know, you get thrown up the criminal ladder because the last guy can't accommodate your buys. Now you see, it's all about business in most of the real criminal world. But Ernie's criminal world is about grifting. And that's the kind of criminality that's wrong. Because once again, most criminality is just business. Or stupid people did something stupid. And that's why I could never really do true crime. Because that is basically what it comes down to. Is real crime is mostly business and people that had a bad moment. That did stupid things for stupid reasons. And that's why I could never do true crime. Now, Ernie, though, is an unspeakable one. Now, when I was a teenager, Ernie would have been a preacher. Because the thing is in the 80s and the 90s, the TV preacher died out. And what replaced him was the internet grifter. And one of the things with that is the protection of children. You protect your own children. The world will not protect your children, but once again, that they took the love of God that they used to grift off of, and now that same type of people are on the internet, and they do it for the love of children. And, hello, Izzy. And that basically gives you a breakdown of whys. You know, Ernie is the consummate internet grifter. And I'm definitely a threat to that. And you know, Ernie doesn't understand that we're in the same court area. You know, we've got a lot of laws that really apply to he and I. Now, fortunately for him, being secure in my income, Ernie is not costing me any money. So, despite the fact that he did just commit slander, you know, there is no damages. Now, once again, if I start getting harassed over this, then all of a sudden, you know, we could start actually getting some damages. But, you know, at the time, yes, I have been slandered, but no, there are no damages. And well, River, and like I said, you know, he likes power games. So I created a game that he could not create power with. No, I did not. And I even broke out the ominous Latin name. Yes, I did, if you noticed on that. You know, I changed my screen name on it, and I went with Thanatos. You know, the name on this channel. I went, see, the things with people like Ernie, by the way, the Army of Darkness account is me. Yes. And as you can see, I said, Ave Dominus Nox. Sounds pretty intimidating, doesn't it? Yes. So, you know, always remember that too. That sometimes ominous Latin words are your friend. Yes, they do. Because they add an air of mystery. Now, Ave Dominus Nox. It means we rule the night. Yes, it does. And once again, as you see, I have it on the Army of Darkness channel. So yes, once again, remember, when you want to intimidate the simple mind, just find you a favorite Latin phrase or two that you know exactly what it means, and you too can intimidate those who can with the intimidation. But yes, that's the account that I'm using on this phone. Actually, that way I just gave it a wrench. That way I can, that way when we're gaming, because I'll be using this phone, that way I've got a wrench on this one. Because in reality, Pindar, in our last gaming sessions, you got, the players have been the only one with a wrench. Just to let you know. You know, it wasn't important because we're all playing, but yeah, you know, pretty much in all of our gaming sessions, you know, and so yeah, only the players have been having the ability to time anyone out. So I thought, well, since this is the phone I'm going to be using for chat a lot, you know, that way I at least gave myself a wrench. And the thing is there's nothing super secret on that channel. There's not going to be anything super secret on that channel. And that's a bit of trolling for Bob. Because I want to watch its sub count go up. Now, once again, I usually do like to keep a backup channel, you know, in case there's all of a sudden some content that I don't think is going to fit anywhere else. And that's what that channel is. You know, if I don't think that some content is going to fit on this or that channel, you know, that's a backup spare one that's all ready to be shot on. That all I have to do is just change the name and picture on it, you know, to whatever given topic I want. Well, Bob and Lori's been quiet. They've been too quiet. So that's what I have to wonder. I wonder if they got in trouble. Just saying. That's what I'm wondering. They've been awful quiet. They either got money, which, nah, they didn't get no money, or they got in trouble. I'm voting on got in trouble. Now, Lori did put up a post that, you know, Bob's been playing with his programming skills, and so we can look forward to more turtles. Sometimes I log things in my head and I just remembered something. Oh, fuck, damn it. It's a troll that I'm going to do for Bob. You know, once again, Bob is blind, so, you know, he's going to have audio in, you know, he's going to hear real well. So once again, sometimes for Bob, I talk overly loud just to get on Bob's nerves. Because for Bob, it's even louder than it is for you. And I laugh. And when Bob also has to look through his thing. So I am going to @Bob with certain things that will assault his senses. So once again, on my main channel's community tab, you're going to see me @Bob and Lori some odd stuff. And the reason is because it's loud, it's distracting, and it will be imagery that will be hard for Bob to process. So I'm hoping that comes out some comedy out of that. So, once again, since most of the other people we're worried about aren't going to be here, I'm more than willing to fess up to things that are upcoming. And I found a few videos to add @Bob, that are kind of like assaults on the senses. It's like, I could just imagine trying to, image this in my head, like right like that. I'm like, God, that would be fucked up. And that's my criteria. If it's image like that, and then there also is an adult baby nursery channel that I am going to start linking to Jamie. So you'll start to see that freaky shit, at King of Streets on my community tab. So, that's a little bit of my, because that's always one thing that I've done is kind of made my community tab comedy. So, this is going to be another way we're going to make community tab comedy. Oh, Dickhead's still on. Different Dickhead.
I think Lisa was after Elvis last night. I think she's
Oh, no.
Get on with Elvis, and I don't care. I don't really care.
Just
If
a moment,
she wants
everyone.
Elvis, go the fuck on and get him.
Oh, no. Rich Life's worried that Elvis Travels and Lisa are going to hook up.
Man like I am. He ain't gonna kiss her fucking ass. He ain't gonna do nothing for her. And I just thought that was really stupid. She wanted Elvis's phone number. You know what I mean?
Okay, I just got a video. Yes. For the Boit, I just have a video. Yes, Rich Life has been thrown off of Lisa Lynn for Elvis Travels. So once again, that'll be funny for me. Yes. Now, see, that's the great thing. Rich Life doesn't understand. He thinks I watch everything he says. But Rich Life, I can usually listen to him like 3 minutes, and he'll say something so stupid or insightful, it will give me an entire video. In fact, I have another Rich Life Lisa video on this device I've never even uploaded yet. And he was addicted to me, and most people don't care about Rich Life, but if I upload anything about him, it will piss him off. And I'm fine with that. Just saying. Now, I would like to get him in the Ernie Shell Camp. Also just saying. I don't know if you can see this well. I hate this phone for the official record. Because it wants to pull chat up too far. And then I can't see how far back my lag is. Oh, that's a Boris Vallejo piece. You should know Boris. That is one of his art pieces on a Blades handle. Shit. It's clogged. I think Ernie clogged my pipe. I do. Or it could have been me smoking out of it too much. No, I still think it was Ernie. That would be Grimgoth. Because Grimgoth, he never accepts responsibility. Everything is everybody else's fault but Grimgoth. That's one reason that Grimgoth and I are different. Grimgoth, he will always deflect responsibility. Oh, but yeah, I have to laugh at old Ernie. Well, see, there's a sin taking yourself seriously. I mean, I've seen, now, usually, in my world, most people that got themselves killed or seriously in jail did something stupid. Now, once again, not doing stupid things is very good at keeping yourself alive. And there was many days I would go down to the clubhouse and it'd say, "Did you hear?" And I got at some point where I go, no, let me guess. Dumb shit. And it's 9 times out of 10, that's what it was. Dumb shit got someone killed. Dumb shit got someone in jail. The solution, don't do dumb shit. Now, I kind of feel sorry for Frank. Frank would hate me. Frank's friends would love me. Because every club always has a Frank. The one really loud guy. And the thing is in clubs, the loud guy usually gets razzed a lot. Now, see, I've not said that on Nicolina's channel because, I don't want to be emotionally hurtful. But, usually the loud guy in the club, he's the one that gets teased a lot. So that's why like I'm telling you, Frank would hate me. His friends would adore me. But Frank himself would hate me. Well, Ernest, had to have went to talk about the van, and he wants money. And, I've not made a vid on it, but this is what the t-shirts is all about. He's going to have to make restitution payments. And he's going to have to keep printing t-shirts to rip people off at $20 or more t-shirt so he can pay for that van. Is what it comes down to. But, once again, I can only pull the curtain back and show the wizard so many times. So sometimes, when I do content on the other channel, I don't rush straight to the end, because after you're at the end, where have you left to go? So, I do have to laugh about it all. Now, I did have one of my criminal friends that I grew up with. He was murdered at 26 years old. Now, he was a skinny little guy, but he was a guy that knew everyone. And he was beat to death with a club. And he used to have a saying, "Don't take life too seriously. You're not going to get out of it alive." Now, another lesson, too, is he was beaten to death in front of around 30-some witnesses. And not one of them had the guts to jump the guy doing it. That is another lesson in life. Don't expect humanity to help you, because it's more than likely that they will leave you to die. Now, this happened the year after I moved down here. And that kind of upset me, because if I hadn't moved down here, there's a good chance I would have been in that room, and I would have thrown him out a second-story window onto Mill Street in Lockland. Yes, I would have. Because I know right in the room that it did, and I would have thrown him through a Victorian window, and he would have went right out in front of a bank. 2 stories. Yes, yes, you would have. And then I would have went down the stairs. But you know that's the thing. Now, I'm sure that he went to jail for it. You know, the guy did go down for murder. Now, my friend that was murdered, he's got an older brother and a younger brother, and I'm sure the guy that did it is gone now. Because by now he's gotten out of jail, and by now one of Tommy's brothers is off him. That I have no doubt of. But you know, that unfortunately is the world that we live in. Now, once again, Ernie wants to play his power games, where I said earlier, you know, despite everything I can do in the world, I can only control what's in arm's reach. You know, past these books and cookie tins behind you, you know, that's as much as I can control in the world. Now, one thing that I do have is an ice cold 2 liter of Coke sitting in the freezer that I'm going to have to go get out. So, someone said they wouldn't care to hear about Ernie crap again, so we're going to put Ernie back on, and while Ernie's running his Frank sucker, we'll hear what he had to say again. Now, before I put it back on, look at me versus Ernie. I mean, this is me, unfiltered, unpanel. And you see how good I look compared to Ernie on a normal day? I'm not a vain man, you know, but, I mean, I got Ernie beat 10-1 any given fucking day. You see how Ernie looks on this screen, and you see how I look on this screen. I look much better.
We have a sponsor today that picked up 4 shirts, and they asked me to give these shirts away, and I figured I would. Who is that in the back?
You're better, Ernie. You're better that knee isn't wanting to work.
You know what?
You take my dishes to the outside.
Some days in this world, I just wonder. This person has never been up on the panel
Well, we're
before.
not gaming, Summer. You can come in, honey.
He's never been on the panel. Should I give him a chance?
You can come in.
Should I give you a chance? Shake your head, yes or no?
Well, Ernie, how are the Ernie Shell?
Well, you know, I've been practicing on your voice.
That's not actually my real voice.
I know it ain't, but it's all right.
Well, Ernie, you seem to scum up our local community. What do you have to say for yourself?
How did I? Like how?
Well, I've been in this land far longer than you. You're just scum from Harlan, dude, that's trying to scam everyone, and we pretty much know it. You ain't no one. The cops ain't going to talk to you, and you're one of those people that are on the watched list. I mean, Ernest, everyone around here has a past, and you're nothing more than a shell. Now, once again, my family has done things around here in Kentucky. We have things named after us, a park down the street. Now, you were supposed to find out about me, and you've come up with absolutely nothing. And I'm right up the road, dude.
Who are you?
You can't figure it out yet. Then you're not a very good skip tracer, are you?
I'm not
There.
trying.
Oh, yes, you did, Ernie. You said on your live that you would find out about Roger Brown and my criminal history, and I'm here to say, what do you got, boy?
Well, that is a mighty nice coat you got on there. Is that real leather? Is that
It's definitely real leather.
I don't know about that. That's got a patch on it?
Oh, no, because you see, I work for myself. You see, I have minions. See, when you're at the top of the food chain, everyone else below it, they're beholden to you.
Below
Okay,
minions.
they're holding it to me, okay. I'm learning
Now,
something.
now you aren't very good around here because
It is
once again, your
crazy.
family is nobody. You're nothing more than a Harlan piece of garbage. Now, when I used to work with the highway department, they would send up people from Harlan to Rockcastle for us to train them.
No, come on, man.
Oh yeah, they would all be rather ashamed of being from Harlan.
Now, I've heard about Rockcastle now. I've been in Rockcastle a little bit there. I've got a few pals in Rockcastle.
Last time I heard it was in Rockcastle.
I've never heard of Roger. Who is that in the background hollering at you?
Now, we're going to let out a secret. Because a lot of people know me by a different name because I do have another local nickname. Ruger. Yes, it's my name, but now see, when I worked with the highway department, there was, your problem was common names. So once again, if your name and someone else's conflicted, you had to be able to tell that over the radio. Therefore, instead of Roger, I was Ruger. Ruger. A play on my name. So, about half the people in Mount Vernon will know me as that. Because once again, that is what I was called at work and over the radio.
Well, considering I live with no one,
Is that a parrot?
it's in your imagination.
Oh, okay. I thought that. Okay. Oh, it's my people. Hold on one second. So you work for the highway department. That's good. How many?
No, I work for myself now, Annie.
But you
I
said
was
you work.
super
Damn
You
it,
said
Krog.
you work for the highway department.
At one time, I'm your elder motherfucker. You should be respectful to me.
Right.
Yes.
What division did you work in there? Did you work for the road? That's good. You built bridges?
Oh, yes, we can build you a bridge in a day. Very good at it, too. In fact, Rockcastle is the best highway department in the entire state. We got more jobs done than anything, but I don't have to worry about that now.
So you're about what, 45, 50 years old, you're going on?
Actually, I'm 54 years old.
Well, you see, I said 45, but turn it around, it is 54. You gotta give me that one, Roger. You know I know.
Well, I'm giving you some information here. Now, I told Nicolina if she wants an interview with me, she can do it, and then you can watch Nicolina and finally find out something about me.
But why would I want to know anything about you?
Now, there is one interesting thing.
Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
You noticed how I lead this conversation. You see, this is a part of, I didn't allow Ernie to lead anything. This went randomly where I wished it to, in a whimsical, chaotic manner, because you see, I am not a control freak. Whatever you throw at me, I am going to use what's within my arm's reach to throw back. Now, in this case, it's Richella.
Well, see, unfortunately, this is something that I can't find a receipt for.
Okay.
But I'm just betting that my father knew yours. I'm just betting on that. Now, once again, I have no way to verify that because, my father's a dead motherfucker. I don't miss him. And once again, in my family, that's a family tradition. I mean, there's a difference between a brown and a shell. We're a much more brutal people than you are.
See, I poked my cat. We're very brutal.
Up here on the rock, it's kind of tough, and we kind of laugh at Harlan in general, and I've got an interesting hive sitting all around me, but I know exactly what it is here. There's no jobs, there's nothing in Harlan, and you just go about the internet grifting like a motherfucker. And in a certain way, I can admire that in a way, but Ernie, you're a pathetic pile of fucking garbage that don't know shit. I mean, in 2015, I walked right past you talking to two pigs, sitting in Wendy's, and I had a fucking 8-ball in my pocket.
Did I did?
I mean, I had all sorts of drugs on me. Walk right past.
And I made $40 off of that, too. For running up the street for 15 minutes, I made $40. And I stopped at Wendy's, some of that into cheeseburgers.
The two of you just standing right there like fucking morons several years ago, and I thought, couple pigs and a wannabe. Now that wannabe was you. Now you had your black uniform on with the little bull.
Now you see how I backed him into the insult and put him in a box he couldn't get out of.
Security patch that day, and that was sometime around the late summer 2015, because I have complete total recall in my memory. Now, I have run into Jimbo before, but I didn't realize it because I always expected him to be taller. And now that I actually realize it, I've run into Jimbo a whole lot more than you, because you see, my mother's family's from down around where Jimbo is. Now, fortunately, a YouTuber did your and Jimbo's genealogy, so I found out I am not related to you because I was really worried as fuck about that. Because I don't want our bloodlines ever to cross.
Our bloodlines will never cross, and I know who exactly you are.
Well then who am
Now you see, like that is, you know, you noticed that whole thing about bloodlines of basically showing Ernie, I ain't nothing, boy. You noticed it. That seemed to get in a tiger's craw.
my Skip Tracer?
You're one of the worst of the worst.
Horrible man.
You sure are. As a matter of fact, you've done some unspeakable things.
And what would these unspeakable things be?
We don't put people like this on stream.
We kiss a kitty. I want to do a horrible thing, kitty. I was going to kiss you in a horrible manner.
You see, I
Just
understand
don't
I'm
kiss
not
me.
like you.
Don't kiss me. You don't want
And
to
those
kiss, do you?
things you own, how many innocent kids had to suffer for that? I told you I knew who you was.
And I'm sitting up.
When I said 45,
Now you see, the entire time, this is a 6-shooter. I had this whole thing filled, and I was sitting backstage, token on this, laughing in his face, and he could see that.
knew you was 54. A lot of people, Roger. I know exactly who you are now.
I'm a ninja.
And as far as my dad goes and your dad, like you said, your dad was scum of the earth. I'm very good at what I do, Roger.
And what's that, Ernie?
That's why I knew when I said Bridges. You did. You did. But your record is a lot worse than mine will ever be.
I didn't
And
have
some
a
of
record,
those things
Ernie.
on your record, Roger, will never be on my record. That is a fact.
Ernie, didn't have a record.
Make sure when you interview with Nicolina, you go into those deep, dark secrets, especially Rock Castle. Especially when you go and looking into the human trafficking and stuff that goes on in Rock Castle.
Actually, probably just because, one, it would be funny, and two, once again, remember I said, you know, Frank's friends would love me, but Frank would hate me? I'm thinking more like talking about vibrating plugs with her, really. You know, try to find a suitable replacement for Frank's first love, is just saying.
I know who you are, Roger. I know who you are. You see, it's not worth it on stream.
Now, actually, if Nicolina was here, you know, once again, my ex-girlfriend was a dominatrix. And one of the things that she had was a vibrating plug that changed lights. You actually, she showed me, she plugged it in, charged it up, and it was a strobe. And, you know, instead, because some people have the jewels on the end of the plug, this actually had a strobe light. So, I mean, Nicolina could get this for Frank, and he would have a tail light too. I mean, it vibrates, it would give him a tail light. And like I said, Frank would really hate me, but his friends would really like me. So, you know, that would be a thing for me, but yes, I mean, once again, you know, where I'm thinking about, you know, talking about taillights for her husband. Now, the funny thing is I think this will get like Ernie all hot and bothered too.
What do you really think about kids, Roger? Won't you tell the truth about that? You said one thing that really...
It's what I've said for about 40-some years. When someone just mentions kids that are around, I'm like, they're best with barbecue sauce. Come on.
You got me. Did someone beat those teeth out of your mouth, or was that something else, Roger?
Starvation. Big.
You said it yourself.
Ah, Ernest. You say he was worried. No, Ernie, not a one.
I know who you are now. 2015. It was 2017, Roger.
2017, I was here having seizures.
It was 2017. It was when the
With no
first
electric.
thing Trump laid
I didn't get
down.
electric till November in
Human
2017.
I
Again.
know exactly where it was at. I know exactly where it was at and who you are. And what you're a part of and what you're in.
The
Those
Cosmic Brownie
hives,
Cult,
you
duh.
fucking call them, pal? Those hives? You mean hubs?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like the ones we took out?
Yes, a hive with our queen bee. And Nicolina is our queen bee. Yes, she is. And I have basically positioned it where Nicolina is now the queen bee, and as we know, the queen bee is above the drone that just wants her honey.
2017, 2019, leading into 2020, and then in August.
Now this is good because once again, all through this time, I don't drive, and I have a pretty girl to take me everywhere. You know, before they basically cut me off on COVID and said, we're afraid we're sick, and bah, COVID freak out. You know, before that for years, I had a chaperone, a lovely young lady from a mental health facility everywhere that I went. And when I started doing YouTube, I'm like, that was a part of the equation. I'm like, well, they can't falsely accuse me of anything because I literally have someone from a mental health facility chaperoning me everywhere I go. And I had that up until the time where they cut COVID off, you know, because of COVID.
Those connections to Lexington, Kentucky, through Rockcastle.
It's called I-75. They go through London too, by the way.
Those Cartaway trucks, I know exactly what you're about. Now, going back on to the real matters at hand. You talk about digging from the bottom of YouTube, you are. You are. And you want to go and have an interview with someone like you for someone who's committed those type of crimes?
I've committed no crime, Ernie. Unlike you, I have a clean criminal record. It's hard
Yeah.
see,
Back to business.
Ernie's mind can't conceive someone has a clean criminal record and has committed crimes.
So if those two people would please email me, give me an email. It'll all be good. Now, I don't see how anybody could be proud of something like that, Roger. Hives. Mm-hmm.
Queen bees. The queen bee you want to honey from so bad you can't stand it.
Sarah, are you available right now to come up on panel?
I bet he was screenshotting me and he wants to whack off at my manliness now.
Too easy.
I let him sit there. You know, I sat there on the back while he had back there and smoked this and laughed at him.
Guys,
Didn't
we're
hurt
going
him.
to shut this down early. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for fighting the good fight. If you want to donate, donate. If you don't. Simple as that. Thank you all. And thanks for the ones that emailed me about that. Thank you, guys.
Ernie's flustered. Yes. And that was the flustered Ernie Shell. Dumbass. I just like, now see, this is something that I do in real life that I don't normally do on my other channel, is I call my lolcow a dumbass. You know, when I'm sitting here and done with that, you know, I typically, many times it does slip out of my mouth, and I do call them a dumbass. And, you know, this is kind of personal space. We're kind of like hanging out in my basement, and if I had a basement, and I'm calling Ernie a dumbass. Ernie, you're a dumbass. Just saying. Oh yeah, Mouse. I mean, that's the thing about Ernie. You see, he's lived his life so fake, he doesn't know how to feel. I mean, I've had some best laid plans that have kind of really went fucked up. And I just shake my head off and laugh. Now, to a control freak like Ernie, when a plan doesn't go right, they freak out. They've lost control. Where many times you just manage the chaos, and sometimes you can, and many times you can get even a better result. And I love my kitty. I love my kitty. Okay, she found the catnip. Yes, she did. She found the catnip. Okay, so you did find the catnip. I'm hoping you just ate. Oh, God. I love you. Just a minute, I'm contemplating. Let me feel this. Hold it. Will you stop eating me? Now, this is something you guys don't normally see. You know, every now and then Richella gets playful, and when she does, she starts to eat me. Yes, this is the side of Richella you don't see. She doesn't do it often, but yes, every now and then she decides that, you know what, I'm just going to eat the fuck out of you. And once again, because she doesn't do it often and being playful for her is good, I just try to endure it and I don't yell at her about it. Now, I'm trying to check her belly. Okay, may I? Thank you. Just here, that side. She might be pregnant. I've been very fortunate this year, and she just piled up with Magnus recently, so I've been checking her, and either she ate big, which could be the case, or she's feeling rounded. Now, if this rounded doesn't go away, and it only gets more rounded, then I have a problem. But yeah, that's why I was talking to her, and I had my hand on her. It's like, that feels like rounding. And it does, too. So yes, she could be a couple weeks pregnant, and that would kind of line up. So I'm hoping she just ate too much, just saying. Now, she did witness. How long ago was it then? Well, I guess it was the beginning of this year. One of the wildcats had a litter, and I had it in the other bedroom. And she was on the bed when the cat spewed. And the cat decided to go on my satin comforter. And when that baby came out of mommy, she freaked. I mean, if the sky opened up and things walked out, you know, kind of people freak out. When she saw that kitten be born, she had that kind of freak out. So I'm hoping that little delicate flower here is not pregnant. Yes, I am. Now, she attacks all the other boys, so I wasn't worried about things. Now, it turned out she decided to like Magnus. Now, Magnus and her are not related, but she's decided that Magnus is her boyfriend. And I caught that they had he'd and she'd. And that was a couple weeks ago. And I feel rounding of a belly that could be a couple weeks. Causes a bad taste in my mouth, to be honest with everyone here. But this is my life. We are learning this all together. She's looking at me like I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. She's got me still, by the way. If you're wondering why I'm not looking at chat, it's because she's... Okay, I got the hand back now. You want to get along and have no burns? How about it? You want to have no burns? She doesn't eat me when she doesn't have any bones. So, oh, well, shit. I was wrong. I was wrong about this. I must reevaluate my position. Okay, I was wrong. She will attack me, however, boneless or not. But in the past, that was always the way to get her to stop. Was, you know, to stretch her out. Yes, apparently that no longer works. She's developed an immunity to it. Kidding me. And I love you, why? Like I say, you know, how are you supposed to control this? You were biting your own... I didn't mind at first because she was biting her own hand. Now, I had to let her go because she finally figured out she was biting herself and not me. But I was fine with her when she was biting herself. That was kind of cute, too, because she bit harder after she bit. She's like, I'll show you, you son of a bitch, I'll bite harder. And that's the moment where she realized that I'm biting myself. Then she reached over and bit the shit out of my thumb. Didn't you, honey? You bit the shit out of my thumb. She says, I love this game. Welcome to my life. What, now you're getting my coat? Okay. Can I get the phone over here? Let me grab you. Okay, got this hand out here. Distracted. Okay. I had to distract her. Well, see, you've run off a third of chat, little kitty. Oh. Oh. Well, I was going to say, I mean, if Ernie and Jimbo wants to show up here, and like I said, I can throw this at 10 to 20 yards and hit a head-sized target. So, you know, once again, you know, I don't have to go bang-bang if I don't want to. As a matter of fact, someone could turn around and find that their buddy has already been hit in the head with this. Just saying. And I have another one like it. And then I have two more small throwing ones. And that's before I could even get to a firearm. And I also do have the bow. You see, bows are really quiet too. Plus, it's another thing that you can hit someone and they don't have any idea of where it even came from. Especially if you hit them through the neck. You know, if you take the bow and, you pop one right through the neck, and then just, as you release, bugger off to your next firing spot. Now, you knocked off my lighter, you little evil little beast. Are you laying on it? No, you're laying on it. You're a monster. I'm glad I ate. Well, I mean, it's a possibility. They would if they could. Seriously. They would if they could. But they're fucking cowards. You see, Ernie, to shoot someone in the face, has to put a pillow over their face. Now, once again, if I was to decide that someone should depart the mortal coil, I'm man enough to look them in the eye and do it. Now, Ernie is not, because once again, there's horrible things people see in their minds. Now, Ernie is not willing to face this. Now, once again, if you're willing to remove another person from existence, you should at least be willing to look them in the eye, in my opinion. Well, the thing is, see, Ernie and them, they're scavengers. They're like zombies. They're only dangerous in packs. And that is how it is. Now, once again, Jimbo grabbed his boy, which was a really bad mistake. Because on a 2-on-1 situation, I'm going to do something horrible to the weak one to make it a 1-on-1 situation. So that means if Jimbo had run into me, I would have took out his son's knee to where he would have needed a knee replacement surgery. That's rule number 1. On 2-on-1, typically there's things that are kind of out of bounds or at the very edge of bounds, but when it's 2-on-1, you use one of those and take the weak one out. So I thought that was pretty stupid of Jimbo, is considering that even if he had a 9mm, if I take his boy's knee out, all of a sudden I can use him as a human shield. Yes, it can, because you see, in my criminal career, I had guns pulled on me quite many times, and I have yet to be shot. Because most people are nervous with a gun, most people are jerky with a gun, and usually you can put one of them in front of you until you can get the gun away from him. Yes, and one of the favorite tricks is to grab one of their side and to hold them in front of the gun and lift them up and approach them that way. And then, of course, throw them upon them and then football kick someone's head until it shatters like a fucking melon. Yes, like I say, Ernie and Jimbo are power cowards. Jimbo grabbed a gun, where, when someone used to say, I have a gun, my response was always, good for you. And then I fuck them up and take their gun. And then I have a free gun. And then once again, when I was a young lad, I would taunt them. And it's like, you really better hope I don't shoot anyone with this gun. Which usually it ended up into the river because, once again, I don't know where the gun had been. So once again, if I disarm someone, rather than use the weapon or sell it, which could be tied to a crime into me, I would just throw it in the damn river. Because Ohio had a law. If you committed a felony with a gun, they added 8 years with no parole to your sentence. Ah, shit. We got the battery warning still be going here. So, in Ohio, most people didn't use guns in crime. You could use guns in crime, but once again, if you did, you were going away for an extra 8 years and you didn't get no benefit time of half served. This was 8 years hard added onto your sentence. So, that was one of the reasons why. Now, see, each state has interesting laws. Like, in Ohio, a man can grape a woman, but cannot grape a man. Now, the woman may be able to be charged with unlawful detainment, but the woman cannot be charged with graping a man. So, you know, if you ever find a man that you ever want it really, really bad and you think he's going to say no, take him to Ohio and humiliate him. Just saying. Now, another thing for Ernie. Ohio has another fucked up law. If you don't have a body and you don't have a murder weapon, you do not have a murder. Now, in Kentucky, it is not like that. Once again, you could probably even try someone without one or the other. But in Ohio, you have to have a body, a weapon. And if you don't have those, you can jump up and down all day and even say, I did it, I did it, I did it. And they ain't going to arrest you. So yes, you know, this is an odd thing about Ohio. Now, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to charge up this device. And if anyone else is on, I will see you in their chats in a little bit. And everyone, have a good night.